up, we joined the Buddha Day ceremony organized at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan. We take a look at how Tzu Chi volunteers prepare for the NGO's Chai celebration in Indonesia. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. On May 10th, Tzu Chi volunteers all over the globe held Buddha Day ceremonies to honor the Enlightened One. The main celebration in central Taiwan was held at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. Tzu Chi's main Buddha Day celebration in central Taiwan took place at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. From an aerial view, over 6,000 people presented the formation of flying bodhisattvas and bodhi leaves with the altar at the center. About 300 personnel from the hospital also joined the ceremony, including Dr. Lin Changhong, who just completed a relief mission in Nepal.
This time yesterday, I was still there. Yet today I'm standing here, participating in the Buddha Day ceremony. In my mind, I keep thinking about them.
After the outdoor ceremony concluded, Dharma masters from the Jingsi abode and Superintendent Jian Shouxing of the hospital brought a mobile Buddha altar to visit patients at their bedside.
Gathering everyone's compassionate heart to celebrate or honor Buddha's birthday is the best way to commemorate this day.
庆祝或者是纪念佛陀诞生日最好的一个方式。
旁会好你哦，哈，好你旁，母亲节快乐哦，哈。
Bathing in the Buddha's grace, participants hope to honor the Buddha as well as rid their hearts of impurities on this auspicious occasion. On the evening of May 10th, volunteers at the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter in Malaysia organized a Buddha Day ceremony at the Kuala Lumpur Jingsi Hall. In a departure from previous years, the celebration was not only joined by Tzu Chi volunteers, Dharma masters, and members of the public, but also Nepalese workers. Outside of the Jingsi Hall in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 2,500 Tzu Chi volunteers, 77 Dharma masters, and members of the public gathered together to attend the Buddha Day ceremony. The ceremony officially kicks off after everyone chants the Buddhist scripture in praise of the Buddha. Under the leadership of Dharma masters, everyone sincerely paid their respect to the Buddha.
The ceremony is infused with Tzu Chi's humanistic spirit. Nowadays, people tend to be very impetuous, so I think it is important for us to spread positive values, such as filial piety, to the public. The solemn ceremony touches the hearts of many. This year also marks the 49th anniversary of the Tzu Chi Foundation. Tzu Chi's Dharma vessel represents Buddhism alleviating the suffering of sentient beings. The flying bodhisattva symbolizes the fact that everyone is a living bodhisattva who can inspire those around them to contribute their ability to benefit others.
We are very proud to be seeing the Tzu Chi organization, their contribution toward the society. In addition to their practicing great masters' teaching, at the same time they really practice charity and welfare work and social activities to cater for the public.
Everyone also sees the chance to pray for peace and harmony in Nepal and the world at large. This year's Buddha Day ceremony is a little bit different because many Nepalese were a part of the event. When many kind-hearted business owners heard about Tzu Chi's Buddha Day celebration, they decided to invite their Nepalese employees to come here to pray for peace in Nepal. Today, we have also received donations from members of the public. The money collected from the bamboo coin banks displayed at the venue will also be put towards helping quake survivors in Nepal.
The earthquake was so scary. Everyone ran for their lives and roads were cut off. The tremor destroyed his home, so he is very sad. He doesn't have the money to rebuild his home, so you will have to wait until he has enough money to go back to Nepal.
80% of the employees in my company come from Nepal. I want to help ease their anxious hearts, so I decided to bring them here today. Besides praying sincerely for peace and harmony, these Nepalese workers also donate what they can to show their support.
Here people go out there, help all the people, then I feel good.
Tzu
Tzu Chi volunteers hope everyone sends their prayers at the Buddha Day ceremony can help alleviate the suffering of quake survivors in Nepal. To meet the urgent needs of quake survivors in Nepal following the Buddha Day ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a 3-day aid distribution in Pakta Port. Prior to the distribution, however, the volunteers faced difficulties in purchasing enough relief items and finding a suitable distribution site. Next, we find out how the volunteers overcame these challenges.
With 2,800 households on the recipient list, long lines of earthquake victims could be seen at the distribution site. Upon verifying their IDs, quake survivors received the much-needed 30 kilograms of rice and daily necessities. Volunteers also helped those who could not carry the heavy supplies.
My house has collapsed and I'm staying in a tent. I'm glad to get these supplies.
To provide the much-needed supplies for the 3-day distribution, volunteers shop at many supermarkets.
It was difficult because we had to buy a lot of supplies, and one supermarket wasn't enough, so we had to go to 4 or 5.
Some quake survivors might wonder why Tzu Chi volunteers came to deliver aid. The letter from Master Chen Yen offers the answer.
On April 25th, the magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck Nepal, and since then I have been worried about your safety.
As the quake survivors happily brought back the needy supplies, they also felt the love and care of Tzu Chi volunteers around the world. Prior to giving out supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers changed the distribution site from the tent area to another location for security reasons.
Purchasing the relief items, finding the storage space, and planning the distribution procedure in a short period of time were very difficult, especially because we were also holding the Buddha Day ceremony. Holding meetings would not have helped, as we had to make quick decisions on the spot. Fortunately, the city government lent a hand, so the army is maintaining security and order.
The distribution site is next to the tent area. As the heavy rain left the ground wet and muddy, Cash for Work participants and soldiers pave a road with bricks.
It rained heavily yesterday. Fortunately, 40 soldiers and 100 local volunteers came to help. They paved the road so that quake survivors would not hurt their feet when they came.
The volunteers also decorated the ceremonial tables in the tent area. They worked together so that everyone could pray for Nepal at the Buddha Day ceremony in the Buddha's birthplace.
In addition to Tzu Chi volunteers, Cash for Work participants have also come to the Buddha Day ceremony. More importantly, our biggest goal today is for the quake survivors in the tent area to come join the Buddha Day ceremony.
Because of the slump in the nation's economy, Taiwan's government has a very limited budget for public works. So even though the nation's sewage cover rate is less than 27%, the government can barely invest enough to raise the coverage by 1% per year. Whether sewer building could somehow find itself there. In our next report, we investigate the hidden resources within sewage.
An ultrasonic homogenizer and a fluidized bed reactor are just a couple of pieces of high-tech equipment inside this lab in Chaoyang University of Technology in Taichung. But what is being studied is something that no one really wants to touch. Sewage is being sent into the homogenizer to be broken down.
This helps increase its decomposition rate. What would normally take about a week to a month can be achieved in here in under 30 minutes.
The purpose of the study is simple. It is to investigate the resources hidden within our sewers.
Phosphorus will crystallize on silica. It will latch on and combine with calcium phosphate.
Phosphorus is vital to the human body and is also a nutrient commonly found in food. In recent years, to prevent pollution, common household cleaners have typically been phosphorus-free, but phosphorus can be found in domestic wastewater.
The concentration of phosphorus in the sewage is about 5 ppm. which means that for every liter of sewage, there are 5 milligrams of phosphorus. So in theory, we can harvest over 5,000 tons of the mineral from Taiwan's sewage system per year, which will be very beneficial to the country.
Taiwan has no phosphorus mines and therefore relies on imports and cannot negotiate on the price. But if the mineral can be extracted from the sewage, it will benefit related industries and add value to the sewage system.
If the sewage is contaminated by industrial wastewater, however, we will have to worry about heavy metal contamination. Reclamation of sewage sludge is actually quite common abroad. But in Taiwan, we're worried about industrial contamination. So I believe that what we need to do is ensure the quality of the sludge.
Scientists recommend that domestic and industrial wastewater should not share the same pipelines, and wastewater that demands special treatment needs to be processed before being discharged.
Special industries, such as hospitals, for example, should have their own water treatment equipment that process their wastewater before it is discharged into the sewers. This way, sewer treatment plants won't have to invest in expensive high-end equipment, and the environment will suffer less damage.
For a sewage treatment plant to raise its treatment level means exponential increases in costs. With the current national sewage coverage at less than 27% and a limited budget, the government needs to be creative in coming up with a solution.
There is no need to raise the sewage coverage rate to 100% because some communities are quite isolated. A hybrid disinfection tank can work for them. For the densely populated cities, sewers are the way to go. According to the country's urban planning, 80% of the population lives in cities, so the sewage coverage rate should also be 80%.
For lowly populated communities or remote mountain areas, it would not be cost-effective to install sewers. An independent treatment system would be the solution in this case. But currently, none of the local governments can afford to build or maintain sewers.
Many cities and counties have no money to maintain their water treatment facilities, which lead to frequent malfunctions. This will be a problem.
Perhaps this is because the government sees increasing sewage coverage only as a means to reduce pollution. But what if, by building sewers, income could be generated? Perhaps it is not a far-fetched idea to investigate the feasibility of utilizing the resources hidden within sewage.
In Taiwan, we meet 3 elderly volunteers who have been serving patients and their families since the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital opened 10 years ago.
快乐，感恩哦，要大家，好好，谢谢。
The nurse in the baby room presented Mother's Day cards to 3 volunteers who have been caring for the babies as well as the medical staff here. Among the volunteers is 80-year-old Chen Jinghua. The infant stopped crying upon Chen Jinghua's caress. Jinghua is very experienced in caring for babies because she has been volunteering in the baby room since the hospital opened.
I am thankful to Master Zhen Yan for giving us this opportunity to serve. I might look old, but I am young at heart. I am grateful for meeting the wise master and having this volunteer job.
Next to Chen Jinghua is Lin Zhaozhao, who's like a sister to Chen. Both of them joined Tzu Chi more than 30 years ago. Lin also began volunteering at the hospital a decade ago and still enjoys it.
The biggest change is that we aged, but we have to continue volunteering as idling at home is a waste of time. We stay healthy by volunteering at least once a week. With good health, we can continue to serve.
有付出，你们就会健康了。有健康才可以付出啊。院长来加报的，是哪一个
？They also serve in the orthopedics outpatient department every Thursday. Joining them there is another volunteer, Xu Liu Guihua, who says they have been volunteering for so long because they keep each other company and want to put smiles on the patients' faces.
要一直做下去。
We will continue to serve till we can't do this anymore. We can alleviate the patient's suffering with even our smiles, so we are glad to serve them.
The 3 volunteers, with an average age of 80, have been complimenting the medical staff in caring for the ill. They'll continue to warm the patients' hearts, as creating a homely atmosphere here is their common goal.
Tzu Chi's Buddha Day celebration in Indonesia was held for the first time at the Tzu Chi Middle School and saw the participation of over 10,000 people. Various religious leaders and government officials attended the ceremony, including the governor of Jakarta.
For the first time, Tzu Chi's Buddha Day celebration in Indonesia is being held at the Tzu Chi Middle School, which can accommodate over 10,000 people. As the human formation in the shape of a Bodhi leaf is presented, 40 Dharma masters then join the solemn ceremony. The ceremony is carried out in both Indonesian and Chinese to help participants pay their respects to the Buddha and receive the fragrant flowers. In attendance are various religious leaders and government officials, including the governor of Jakarta.
We're so very grateful that there are so many Tzu Chi volunteers here in Jakarta. Sometimes I will even ask our social welfare department, why is it that Tzu Chi can arrive quicker than we can?
Kenapa yang Yayasan Buddha Tzu Chi duluan nyiapin makanan? Kok bukannya dari yayasan sosial kita?
The ceremony took 2 months of preparation and rehearsals. Thanks to the united effort of Indonesia's Tzu Chi volunteers, more than 10,000 people have come together today to show that love is truly universal.
Staying in Indonesia, we take a look at how local Tzu Chi volunteers prepare for the charity organization's Chai celebration.
This year, the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter is extending the scope of its Buddha Day celebration. To accommodate the more than 10,000 participants expected this year, volunteers moved the venue to Tzu Chi Middle School's sports field.
Our goal this year is to invite 10,000 people to participate in our Buddha Day ceremony. This would be the first time since the establishment of the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter that we have held a ceremony on such a scale.
To ensure that an event of such large scale goes off perfectly, volunteers began preparations as early as March, when volunteers in Jakarta also began rehearsals and started promoting the event in local communities.
We have many participants attending this year's ceremony, including monastic disciples, university students, and community residents. We hope that everyone in attendance can understand the significance of the Buddha Day ceremony.
From local communities to schools and care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers extended Buddha Day invitations to people from all walks of life, bringing out the beauty of religious diversity in a Muslim country.
Local residents who have taken part in Tzu Chi's events have come to understand the spirit of mutual love and assistance. If we all have a heart to help others, this will surely create ripples of kindness across Indonesia.
Although some of our care recipients are of a different religion, they're all willing to come and attend the ceremony. They truly have a lot of heart and put a lot of effort into the rehearsals, as they all hope for a world free of calamity and disaster.
At the 2014 ceremony, close to 2,000 volunteers portrayed the formation of a Bodhi leaf and the words Tzu Chi. This year, however, volunteers are taking it up a notch, as close to 7,000 people will be featuring 4 formations.
The formations we are featuring this year have been coordinated by locals. If they do not show up on the day of the ceremony, there will be empty spaces in the formation. So we've also organized volunteers who will step in to complete the formation, should that happen.
This year, the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter hopes to bring compassionate hearts together to highlight the beauty of religious harmony and cultural diversity in Indonesia.
Indonesia has the largest Muslim population in the world, with Buddhists making up only 0.9% of the population. So how did Tzu Chi, a Buddhist organization, come to inspire compassion in the hearts of local residents? We find out more in our next report.
Borobudur, Indonesia, Bagan, Myanmar, and Angkor Wat, Cambodia, are home to the three sites of the greatest Buddhist relics in Southeast Asia. From the 7th to the 11th century, Buddhism flourished in Indonesia. With the rise of Islam during the 13th century, however, Buddhism declined in popularity. Now, Buddhists make up only 0.9% of the total population. There is one kind of love that is boundless.
I am truly thankful to Tzu Chi for providing me with the rice and helping me with surgery arrangements. I used to suffer from elephant foot disease, and it was with the help of the Tzu Chi Foundation that I was able to receive surgery. Currently, I still rely on them for assistance so that I can undergo further surgery.
Where there was suffering, Tzu Chi volunteers erected houses, built schools, carried out periodic free clinics to help lift the poor out of poverty.
Here at the school, we will continue to steer students in the right direction in life. We hope our students may realize their aspirations and continue to pursue their dreams.
When people can do more in life than pursue the bare essentials, they look to cultivate their spirituality. On Buddha Day in 2003, Tzu Chi celebrated the inauguration of the Tengkareng Tzu Chi Great Love Village and Tzu Chi Indonesia Free Clinic Center and organized a simple yet solemn ceremony to mark the occasion. In the past, apart from Chinese volunteers, not many local people took part in Tzu Chi's Buddha Day ceremonies. As Tzu Chi's love and compassion flourished in the country, however, more and more people of different ethnicities and religions began to take part. In 2008, the Buddha Day ceremony organized by the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter saw 5,000 people in attendance.
I love my mother very, very much. I hope I can always be filial towards her.
Whether it was at an outdoor venue or at the construction site of the Tzu Chi grounds in North Jakarta, or here at the newly established Jingsi Hall, the orderliness of 7,000 participants brings out the religious harmony and cultural diversity of this country.
If we talk about coming together and working towards a common goal, we have been striving to do that. Regardless of whether I am Muslim or they are Buddhist or Christian, in Tzu Chi, we are all one family.
The purpose of the Buddha Day ceremony is to cleanse our inner afflictions and return to our innate pure nature. So, even in a Muslim nation like Indonesia, locals have come to embrace the event and strive to awaken the love and compassion in their hearts.
We go to Jordan at the end of the show, where Tzu Chi recipient participated in the Buddha Day ceremony held by local Tzu Chi volunteers, despite the differences in faith and faith. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for